Yahweh controls all things. All things. No nation can overforce these words. Come on. That must be something in that Revelation, that trash there. All right. So Psalms 150 forever. May Yahweh have mercy upon us. Get that, what is that? Second Chronicles 7 and 14. You know what I'm saying? And Yahweh heal our land. You know what I'm saying? All right? Pray. And Yahweh heal our land. All right? Shalom. All right.
We deserve the way you turned away your face. We did you very wrong. Gave us all that we desired. All you asked was to be praised alone. I lament now on my knees, not just for me, but for Yahshua. To lament is all we need. Yahweh, please forgive us all. Let me talk to him. See the crazy thing about it, our land was milk and honey. We had it stripped and took away from us, cause the priest was acting like dummies. Now I discern we took it as man, and Yahweh gave us our judgment. I had to turn away from my brother, cause he called the Savior some other name. I got shot at for real gun range, then went to church giving out of the praise. But Yahweh, he spared me his rage. Don't mean I'm on for the hook for the day. See that cut so deep when I read them. Yeah, for the bleed, I gotta plead, don't give me the blaze. Ay, I got a reason to pray. I'm trying to seek out his face.
My people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways. Then will I hear from heaven and forgive their sins and heal their land.
Now my eyes will be open and my ears attentive to the prayer that is made in this place. Please, Yahweh, take us home and we will praise the holy name of YAHAWAH'S. YAHAWAH'S.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Hey, shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, before we start this off, y'all know we got to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh and Yahweh alone, forever and ever, by saying Kal Yada, Wakabawa, Wahawa, La Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Laba. You know what I mean? Him alone, man. Now, before we get started, first off, I just want to tell y'all, man, I don't know where y'all at. It's superbly hot. You know what I mean? So if y'all hear a fan in the background on maximum, salat. You know what I mean? I still gotta stay cool. Another thing that I wanted to bring to the table today, yesterday, we had a request to do the whole chapter in Nehemiah. And that is very relative of the times that we in. We can see, we don't have to be talking amongst each other to see, like the separation and the chaff and all of that swaying away, stuff like that. So we see that stuff. So what I wanted to do was I actually wanted to buy a little time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wipe this. I'm gonna wipe my keyboard off. I'm gonna wipe my little dust off my keyboard, and let me see what I come up with. You know what I mean? Just to bite a little time and let people come in, cause we're gonna be going verse by verse. We're just gonna bring scriptures to, align with the confessions of Yahshua, you know what I mean? And the results too. Things that we did wrong, it's all over, so we're gonna get into that. But hey, look, I ain't never had no piano classes. What's good with you, Malak? What's good with it? I ain't had no piano classes. Never, I always just been type of person, to play by ear, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I haven't been doing it in a minute, so I'm a little rusty. But I hope y'all can hear it good. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me see something. Hey, can y'all hear that? Hold on. Give me a 1 if y'all can hear this. Can y'all hear that? If y'all can't, then I'm going to still try it anyway. But yeah, let me see something. Yeah, if y'all can hear it, I think y'all should be able to. I'm not sure. I got me a little video playing in the background, some little stuff I copy and pasted and did all that stuff a while ago, but it was good, Benny. Shalom, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We're gonna be cooking up with Nehemiah now, it's gonna be a long one. We're gonna try to do the whole chapter. So bear with me. If I don't do a lot of commentary, but I feel like the scriptures that I caught that are aligned with this, bro, is like very explanatory, and it should be able to put us in a place where we need to be. You know what I mean? So let me get into this real fast. All right, here we go. Yes. Hey, y'all don't laugh at me if I mess up, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, I ain't never had no classes or nothing. All straight ear. And I always really been a person that just create my own music. You know what I mean? All right, so let's get this cracking. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Nah. All right, that's it. Hey man, look, I don't know what that was about, bro. I messed it up. My bad, y'all. But look, I guess I hope we in there a little bit more. You know what I mean? If not, then we gonna get started with this. Let me put this. Yes, let me put this piano up real fast. My bad. Give me a second. All right. Woo. Yeah, let's get it. So yeah, that was like, something I put together a while ago and low key forgot it, and you know how that go. But yeah, so I guess we gonna get started on this. We gonna be coming from Nehemiah 9. Listen, bro, it's 38 verses. So let me take this down real fast. It's gonna be 38 verses, so we ain't gonna be racing for time, nothing like that, you know what I mean? But we are gonna be getting straight to the point, you know, and y'all already know, man, you know what I'm saying? If y'all make sure you can drop scriptures and stuff like that too, you know what I mean? Is this okay? There we go. My bow's getting distracted. All right, so this is, like I said, it's a lot of verses. So all I would do this is so I don't wear myself out. I think I'm gonna just have Anaya read, you know what I mean, like verse 1 and verse 2 and stuff like that. And after she read verse 1, you know what I mean, we gonna, of course, match it up, you know what I mean, and just go, you know what I mean, according to the core theme, I guess. All right. So, all right, here we go. Now, first of all, let's get some straight. In this mode that we're in this Nehemiah, we gonna be getting into a lot of rebelliousness. We're gonna be getting into covenants, promises. We're gonna be getting into confessing our iniquities. We're gonna get into a lot of stuff that people might not really, agree with. But we all know, you know what I'm saying, the book of Nehemiah is infamous for its separation of the other nations. So we know how this is gonna go. All right. So, but without further ado, we're gonna get straight into it. Let's go. Miss Sister Hanaya.
Shalom, family.
You don't have to speak up.
No.
I think.
Just ask if they can hear me when I start reading.
All right.
Now, on the 24th day of this month, the people of Yasharah were assembled for fasting and in sackcloth and with earth on their heads.
All right. So remember, we're talking about separation. We can clearly see just in this verse 1, right, that it's talking about, it says that we were doing what? They were fasting and in sackcloth and, dust on their head. And the ancient mindset doing those things showed humbleness. It showed it showed grief. It showed many emotions, especially when people threw dust on their head and things like that. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to Job, I already got this pulled up. Chapter 2, verse 12 and 13. It says, "Yet even now, declares Yahweh, return to me with all your heart, with fasting, with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your harps and not your garments. Return to Yahweh your Elohim, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love, and he relents over disaster." Now, as we see, bro, when we get taken out of the land and things like that, the depth of what we do in our traditions and stuff, they tend to be they cease. We're not able to do certain things. If you go around today, you know what I mean, and you go and try to take the book of Nehemiah literally, and you go around and in some raggedy clothes, you know what I'm saying, from head to toe, you know what I mean, if you low-key can't even fast for a certain amount of day, it might put you in suicide watch, you know what I mean, and you got dirt on your head, they will look at you crazy, you know what I'm saying. But right here we can see that in verse 13 he tells us how to do it with our minds, with our hearts, with our very intent, not garments, you know what I mean, showing specifically when they were in Nehemiah, they were in the land, remember? Now, we're in this situation here, and these are instructions that tell us how to do this. So a lot of people might feel like they got to go out of the way and do all this weird, do all this stuff to like make it look like, you know what I mean, they're pouring out to the Most High, but it's in your mind, it's in your spirit, you know what I mean, showing us how to return to him. Let's back this up with 1 Samuel. Chapter 7, verse 6. Right. It says 76, yeah. It says, put it out before Yahweh and fasted on that day, and said there, we have sinned against Yahweh. And Samuel judged the people of Yasharah at Mizpah. That's showing you right there a standard practice of deep humiliation on a nation tip. You know what I mean? Specifically showing us how to turn back to the Most High, Yahweh, by rendering yourself. You'll be able, when you render yourself from all the stuff that, you know what I mean, we've been poisoned with, Yahweh start sending you in places so you can get to know him better and be able to understand him better. He'll give you things so you'll be able to, so you'll know. You could just be going through a little bit, you know what I mean? And you just like, I need you to show me that you're here. And he just puts you in a spot where you got to go and look for some information that proves that he is real. Just information using history, articles, as I'm telling you, because it lines up with his word, his Torah. You know what I mean? All right. Remember, at any time, if you ever want to, you could say, you know what I mean? This ain't pause that shit. All right, you go, verse 2.
And Yasharah separated themselves from all foreigners and stood and confessed their sins and the iniquities of their fathers. So.
All right. Now, this is the one that they don't like, because what they said they was doing, they were separating themselves from the foreigners. They were separating themselves from the people around them that wasn't of the nation. They have to do that in order for this to work. You can't have outside forces in. It messes up the whole vibe. Even when Yasharah was coming before they came out of Egypt, they had to cry out. It don't say it was heathens with them crying out with them. It don't say they had strangers crying with them when they were asking Yahweh to save them. Now, Yahweh doing that, and these people might, some of them people had heart and stuff like that, like, nah, we know what's going on. They came with us out of Egypt. But you got to understand, it start with us. You know what I mean? Ezra 10 and 11, and then we're going to go to verse 3. It says, verse 10 and verse 11. Now then, make confession to Yahweh, your Elohim, the Salah. Now then, make confession to Yahweh, the Elohim of your fathers, and do his will. Separate yourself from the people of the land and from the foreign wives. Look, man.
Numbers 25.
Number what?
25.
You can put it in while I'm talking. It says separate yourself from these people, bro. Now we see in verse 2, it was that's what the calling was. Now, when we jump to Ezra, all of a sudden, changed. You know, I mean, you're not supposed to be you're not supposed to be mingling, especially interracially, with these people. It told us to separate ourselves from them and come from among them, bro. So that's why a lot of people don't like Ezra. Hey, Shalom, Vikar. What's good with it, Art? You know the smash, right? Love, Brody. You know what I mean? So yeah, a lot of people, they don't bring up Ezra. They don't like to bring up Nehemiah. They don't like to bring up these books because these books are sufficient for the nation to gather yourselves, O nation not desired. That's the thing. It has to go like that first. These people have to learn how to worship the Most High. So that means us as a nation, we have to stick together. So that energy, that cry out that occurs, once it shifts, then they will know that he is Yahweh, and then they can cleave to you, and then you know what I mean, because your power will be what it say, and then they shall know that I am Yahweh. So that's it. Anyway, Anaya,
Just to further expound on the point of what Hanan was saying about, our people needed to separate themselves and also from the other nations, and also how you're not supposed to be interracially dating. Numbers 25 will be one of the first examples of how this has always been a problem amongst the nation of Yasharah. It's just something that we're not supposed to do. We're not supposed to be taking on these other nation gods, and we're not supposed to be intermingling with these other nations, interracially, marrying and things like that. And so I'm gonna read most of the chapter. It's not that long, but just so y'all can get the point and see the scenario, the situation of what happened. So it says, while Yasharah lived in Shittim, the people began to whore with the daughters of Moab. These invited the people to the sacrifices of their gods, and the people ate and bowed down to their gods. So Yasharah yoked himself to, I'm going to just say, be of Peor, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Yasharah. And Yahweh said to Moses, take all the chiefs of the people and hang them in the sun before Yahweh, that the fierce anger of Yahweh may turn away from Yasharah. So they had to be punished for what they did. And Moses said to the judges of Yasharah, each of you kill those of his men who have yoked themselves to be of Peor. So when something happened amongst the nation, there wasn't no just turning the other cheek or turning away and be like, oh, well, that's him over there or that's them over there. No, you had to face the issue, and you had to address and get the evil from amongst the nation.
And is the reason why? Because we suffer as a whole when iniquity comes in, when strange things come amongst us.
Yes, we suffer as a whole.
Okay.
One bad apple can spoil the whole bunch, as they say. Right.
Okay, gotcha.
And behold, one of the peoples of Yasharal came and brought a Midianite woman to his family in the sight of Moses. So right in front of Moses, and in the sight of the whole congregation of the people of Yasharal, while they were weeping in the interest of the tent of meeting.
Wait. Before you go any further. So you mean to tell me, if I was picturing this, and I'm sitting in the congregation, I'm sitting there waiting for everything to pop off. This brother just walks up in here with some stranger that nobody ever seen, don't nobody know. We know she ain't Yasharal. And he done walked up like, yeah, we finna cry out. We finna cry out to Yah because of the oppressor.
Right.
That's wild.
Right.
All right, you can keep. I was just trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So in this situation, they crying out to Yahweh. Moses and the rest of the congregation, they crying out to Yahweh. So the other nations aren't. This proves that other point as well. The other nations cannot cry out to Yahweh with us. It doesn't make any sense because they did not break any covenant with Yahweh. So why are they crying out? And if they are a part of the oppressor's nation, then how are they going to be like, get the oppressors up off me? You're a part of that. It doesn't make any sense. So when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw it, he rose and left the congregation and took a spear in his hand and went after the man of Yasharal into the chamber and pierced both of them, the man of Yasharal and the woman, through her belly. Thus the plague on the people of Yasharal was stopped. Nevertheless, those who died by the plague were 24,000.
Now, I got a question. Was that professional?
No, that was the zeal. By having zeal, the situation got solved really quickly.
But no. Why? What? No, I'm trying to understand. Why didn't nobody speak up on her behalf and stand up to Moses and Phinehas and say, "Who are you to tell her that she ain't allowed in the congregation?" What would have happened to him? Whoever that would have been.
Probably would have got killed too.
Did the brother die as well?
Yes, he did.
Why?
He brought the other nation around. He was one of the ones sinning.
I'm just trying to make it clear. I'm just trying to figure this out. You know what I mean? So this is showing you right here the order that we see when we see these heathens, Gentiles, when they're teaching, especially among trying to do that among us, it's wrong. When you see them doing it, period. To be honest with you, when they're sitting here trying to tell you, a whole pure seed of Yasharal, I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna cry out to your power, although y'all ain't even got the strength to cry out to him. I'm gonna help y'all. You don't feel like that's disrespectful? You don't feel like they little boy in you? This is what we have to, as men of Yasharal, we have to, and women, we have to stand up to the forelock, to the line. We gotta all stand up by the door and make sure don't nobody come for our heritage. This is our book that Yahweh gave us. We are the ones that acquire the wisdom. They are the ones that watch us, minister, aka serve us, and then they get favored. Then they get treated as one of us. They gotta prove themselves, but they still have boundaries. Verse 3, Nehemiah 9.
And they stood up in their place and read from the book of the law of Yahweh, their Elohim, for a quarter of the day. For another quarter of it, they made confession and worshiped Yahweh their Elohim.
All right. Let's go to Deuteronomy 31. Can you take this? Can you navigate that for me, please? Go to Deuteronomy 31, 11 through 12. And because said, it's all about those sex cults and the defilement of the body and how they engage with sex while the period is on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No doubt about it. No doubt about it, man. All right. Deuteronomy 31, 11 through 12. It say, when Yasharal comes to appear before Yahweh, your Elohim, at the place that he will choose, you listening to this? You shall read this law before Yasharal in their hearing. Assemble the, wait, let's pause right there for a minute. You shall, it say, when Yasharal comes to appear before Yahweh, their Elohim, yours, not everybody else's, at the place that he will choose. This is where y'all get caught up, because y'all get on this over religious thing and y'all feel like that if you don't step up to YouTube constantly 24/7, then it won't show that you reading you read the law or whatever a quarter of the day. You can't do that here because we already know certain things happen. But if you can, that's cool. But don't ever think just because you have that knowledge, you're not in the place that he chose. So you ain't no better than nobody else. The rest of this say, you shall read this law before all Yasharah in their hearing. Verse 12, assembly the people, men, women, and little ones, and the sojourner within your towns, that they may hear and learn to fear Yahweh, your Elohim, and be careful to do all the words of this law. Listen to what it's saying. Now, you don't, this is why it's important to read more than one verse, because people will stop right there and be like, you see that? Deuteronomy 31 and 12, assemble the people, men, women, little ones, and the sojourner within your towns. Not what you got to say. They could be around us. In verse 11, it says when Yasharal comes to appear before Yahweh. It don't say Yasharal and the sojourner. It's telling you what you do. You see what I'm saying? And it's telling you the next in verse 12, assemble the people and giving you all the people. That means there is some Levites or somebody, a teacher, leading them, because this is a command for Moses. Moses commanded them at the end of every 7 years at the set time of the year of release at the Feast of Booths. This is Moses saying it. So this is a Levite. This is a, you know what I mean? This is a prophet. This is a priest. You get me? This is Yahweh's, one of Yahweh's witnesses, his servants, bro. So he's telling the people, the ones that are in charge, not the whole nation. He telling the people, when Yasharal comes to appear before Yahweh, your Elohim. Remember, because come on, bro. Yeah, go ahead.
So another quick point in verse 12, notice how it say right after, and the sojourner within your towns, that they may hear and learn to fear Yahweh, your Elohim. Okay, they may hear and learn. They did not say the sojourner is not teaching, they are not leading. They are going to listen and learn. That is their job. Listen and learn and do. The same how everybody else are supposed, the ones who aren't in charge, right? They're going to listen, learn, and do it. But the sojourners are not leading. They're not leading no prayer. They're not singing to Yahweh, none of that. No. So it was an order to things. And we must know and understand it. We can't just be doing whatever. That's what got us, well, our people in trouble in the first place. All the times they got in trouble doing whatever they wanted to do and having these other nations in the forefront with them. Okay, that was my only point.
It definitely showing you that the congregation is the one that's supposed to gather. You know what I mean? To hear Yahweh's word. That's just it. Now you can go to verse 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because to be totally honest with you, once again, no, right here.
No, I did it. I messed it up.
All right. But no. Why you just what you doing?
So on
okay.
Yeah, right, on the one that was on Nehemiah, yeah. I had to fix it.
So once again, bro, we posted it's us. At the top, it's just us first. This is the thing. Y'all, if you see discord around the nation, there's no room right at this second to be trying to just gather people in. You know what I mean? Like, we on social media and stuff like that, so you can't stop people from popping up, you know what I mean, and saying whatever they say. That's true, you know what I mean? But you protect the nation by keeping people at a distance and not letting them walk in and just decide they're gonna do I'm gonna cry out with y'all. They gotta learn from us before they can even do anything. They gotta learn from us how to cry out to the Most High. Yeah, Yahweh not hearing no blend. Oh, holy, you ho. Man, that's boring. Thumbs down. Nobody, don't you understand? Yahweh means praise Yahweh. That means he wants the best of it. He wants our best cry out and everything. We're not gonna get our best cry out if we still you know what I'm saying, we know goodness well that we not in a place to be protected right now. Why do we want to even bring other people in to, like, you know what I'm saying, damage what we got into? I don't know about nobody else. I don't like nobody walking on my wet floor after I mopped it. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right, verse 4.
On the stairs of the Levites stood Jeshua, Bani, Kadmiel, Shebaniah, Bani, Sherebiah, Bani. I think I'm saying this right, y'all. If I'm not, just excuse me. Chanan, was it Chanani? Kanani. They cried with a loud voice to Yahweh their Allah.
Who are these?
Levites.
Who are they? Israelites?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are Israelites, Levitical Israelites, crying out with a loud voice. Right?
Right.
They say a loud voice.
Right.
He wants the best of the best. It starts in your vocals. You gotta have that worship in your tonsils. You know what I mean? That gotta come out of your breath, not you're lacking. You're suffocating the name of Yahweh. He can't accept nothing when you saying praise anything else but except what he established and what he said. That's it. With a loud voice, right? All right, go to 1 Chronicles 15 and 16. and we gonna see it's y'all gonna basically, if y'all can see by now, they're the same thing. When I'm pulling up there, you know, I mean, this, and you know, also this is for these people talk about the Nehemiah effect. If Nehemiah, every verse that goes straight back to the scriptures, and it show you that it's a recurring cycle. A lot of stuff that we doing, it's a recurring cycle. It keep happening over and over. Some stuff. Now, don't take that, try to make it seem like, oh yeah, he believe in reincarnation. I ain't never say nothing like that. Don't even put them words in my mouth. First Chronicles 15-16 say the Y also commanded the chiefs of the Levites to appoint their brothers as the singers who should play loudly. Whoa. And the Y also commanded the chiefs of the Levites to appoint who? Their ox, their brothers, as the singers who should play loudly on musical instruments, on harps and lyres and cymbals to raise sounds of joy. Now in First Chronicles, is First Chronicles fake too? Because the Y commands the Levites only. They don't say he commanded Levites and since he had other nations in his army, he had some Hittites in there, and he had no. It don't say, and the Y commanded the chiefs and Levites and the chief priests of nothing of another nation. No, you know what I mean. So it was up to the Levites. It was up to the men of Yasharal. It was, you know, don't take it like that. It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the right here, you know what I'm saying? It was on them to make supplication. It was on them to sing praises of joy, of supplication. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's that. You got something to say?
No.
Oh, okay. So you can go to verse 5.
Okay. Then the Levites, Jeshua, Kadmiel, Bani, Hashabaniah, Sherebiah, Hodiah, Shebaniah, and Pathahiah, Pathiah, said, stand up and bless Yahweh your Elohim from everlasting to everlasting. Blessed be your glorious name, which is exalted above all blessing and praise.
Now I got a question. First of all, they say stand up and bless Yahweh, right? Now wait a minute. Stand up and bless Yahweh. How you so? Never mind, because it's about Nehemiah. But I am gonna say this: y'all need to learn when and how to approach the Most High. There's times that you stand and you bless him. When you in supplication, you fall to your face. You know what I mean? I don't know about y'all, but every little jewel that I can get out of here, I get it and take heed to it. You get what I'm saying? Let's go to Psalms 103. We're gonna read 1 and 2. It told you to call to Yahweh. It said stand up and bless Yahweh. But forever too. Let's not forget about that part. All right. Psalms 103, 1 and 2. Of the wide, Barak Yahweh, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy name. Did you see this, right? This is what they was doing. Blessing his holy name, his set apart name, his name that is like no other, his name that none of these nations, no matter how ancient they are, have a pronunciation of it. But I can guarantee you, majority of the names that you people call on out here is not holy. It's not set apart. All right. Now, the Levites did it. Here go this is a song of the Word. Verse 2 says, "Bless Yahweh, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits." Now, when you amongst the congregation, you know what I mean? You want to get, I didn't have verse 3. You can read verse 3 if you want. When you in front of the congregation, how can other people that is not part of the congregation even have remembrance of any blessings that was bestowed upon us? How can that happen if it isn't us as a whole first? You know what I'm saying? Let's go to verse 3, and then I'm gonna go to First Chronicles, right? This says, "Bless Yahweh." Verse 3. I'm just gonna start at 2. "Bless Yahweh, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgives all your iniquity and who heals all your diseases." Right? Now, I ain't trying to be like that, but this show you right here that there's a certain people with a certain, pigment that, they're not really benefited by the Most High because skin cancer from the sun. If he heal all your diseases, that is something that is embedded in, that type of pigmentation that we're talking about that can't deal with the sun. That's like a disease, bro. Now, if you saying that he's giving you downloads, he's doing this and all of this, then you should be able to, as another nation of people, you should be able to go out there and just stand out there. I'm talking about in the diaspora that we're in. All I'm saying is we should be able to just be around our own without anybody else being around us. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Not saying that we don't want y'all around, but we have to get ourselves established first. And that's the thing. There's a time and a season for everything, right? You can't be in discord with your brother and think that the nation actually gonna follow us. They gonna tell y'all don't know how to do this. Let me show y'all how to do it, because our people, we get along more than y'all. Now they want to lead. All right, yeah. First Chronicles 29 and 10. Once again, we're gonna see basically the why. Let's see Yahweh again. All right. It says, "Therefore, the why bless Yahweh in the presence of all the assembly," right? In the presence of all the assembly. And the why said, "Blessed are you, O Yahweh, the Elohim of Yasharal, our Father forever and ever. The God of Israel." Yasharal, bruh. You're not getting close to him with a bunch of people around when we got stuff to cipher out, to sift out within our nation. You know what I mean? In the book of Nehemiah, as we gonna keep seeing, it seems to be hard for our people to just say no. to other nations. As we already know, but we're going to see, it's going to be people literally, they just got out of captivity. All you got to do is just, well, you know this was happening, you should have, but, you know, your wives can't come. Some of them rebel. Just gotta have the other people around. Got to. You know, but right here, once again, it said that he stood in the presence of the assembly. So when it say and blessed, he said, "Blessed are you, O Yahweh, the Elohim of Yasharal, our Father." This is noting that there's only Israelites around. In the assembly, am I getting through to y'all? All right. You can go ahead and hit verse 6. Like I said, I'm just, in and out of here.
Verse 6, you are Yahweh, you alone.
Nehemiah 9:6. Go ahead again.
You are Yahweh, you alone.
Labad.
You have made heaven, the heaven of heavens, with all their hosts, the earth and all that is on it, the seas and all that is in them. And you preserve all of them, and the host of heaven worships you.
Oh. Now, I ain't finna play with y'all. Go to Genesis 1:1. You, Yahweh, alone made the heavens and earth.
Alone.
No
one else. Nothing else.
In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and earth. You see that? Now let's go to the Hebrew. Go to the Hebrew. And it say Elohim. That means plural. So go back to Nehemiah 9:6. You are Yahweh, you alone, you have made the heavens and of heavens, with all their hosts, the earth, and all that is on the sea, on it, the seas, and all that is in them, and you preserve all of them, and the hosts of heaven worship you. Now, don't take my word from it. Don't take my word for it. I know. A lot of you people will be like, man, that was easy. I could have did that. That was easy. All right, cool. Well, but if we take a look at Exodus 20:11 as well, Exodus 20:11, we're going to see for sure what the actual foundation of the creation is.
Not my bad, y'all.
Hey. I haven't read I ain't into the chat yet, but I hope y'all get some out of it. You know what I mean? Can you read that real fast?
Okay. Exodus 20:11. For in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy.
He made it holy. He made it holy. This ain't got nothing to do with it, but let's get something straight here. When he made it holy, that means it's his. It's not yours, it's his. It's on his terms. If you don't want it, he don't want you. He don't want you as one of his children to have the ability and the I guess I say the ability to do it. He ain't gonna take it away. Hey, that's on you. That's on us. But it's his. All right. So anyway, off that, it says, for in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth. This is in Nehemiah. This is Nehemiah quoting the Torah. Now I understand why people will say that this book is fake, because it is a threat to them, and it's a threat for us to understand. This book is a book that we need to analyze for the separation of people that aren't ours. If he set apart a whole day for himself and set up laws and boundaries and how to treat that day for only a certain people, then why would you in your mind think that he is for any moment wanting somebody else that he never even picked to come into the congregation when there's mess and foolishness inside of his nation? You know what I mean? But the foundation of creation is right there in Nehemiah 9:6, taking us back to Genesis 1:1 and Exodus 20:11. We gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. What verse we on? Verse 7. We're gonna keep going, but this just to show you that this Nehemiah, this is where we need to be standing right now, and analyze this and see what was happening in this book. What was happening? What was the downfall? What they could have did different? What we need to do different? You get what I'm saying? All right, verse 9, verse 7.
You are Yahweh, the Elohim, who chose Abram and brought him out of Ur of the Chaldeans and gave him the name Abraham.
Okay. Genesis 11:31. This is all backing up what is being said in this book of Nehemiah, bro. This is a foundational book as well. This is a book that will scare people. It will scare people to thinking we're going to unite. We're going to say, you know what? All right, the first step that we see is going on. Get rid of these people. You ain't got to cut them off. You ain't got to tell them, no, you can't serve. You can't. We need time. We cannot allow it. We just can't. Well, according to this book right here, Nehemiah, it was an order. When we go back to Exodus, it's an order. When we go to First Chronicles, it's an order. When we go to Psalms, it's an order. These are the books, Deuteronomy, it's order. These are books that we done been to so far, right? And it's all an order, and it's surrounding who? The nation of Yasharal. And getting away and not having these people in front of us. All right. Genesis 11:31. Terah took Abram, his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his grandson, Sarai, his daughter-in-law, his son, Abram's wife, and they went forth together from Ur of the Chaldeans to go into the land of Canaan. But when they came to Haran, they settled there. The days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. I'm gonna keep going. Yes, I go. All right. Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, shouldn't. My bad, y'all. Hold on. Genesis 11. All I wanted to do was next chapter. All right. Now Yahweh said to Abram, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. So he's already doing what? He's separating Abram, even from his own family. Why? Because these people don't serve the Most High. And guess what? They're not even your people anymore. You know, when it say that a person get cut off from the nation, it don't mean they getting killed. It means they no longer a part. We don't have nothing to do with you. You can't come around no more. You know what I mean? Verse 2 say, and I will make you a great nation. Did he do that? To this day, there is a bunch of people that are descendants of Abraham. And yet still from Abraham comes one specific people that are raised above all of the nations that Abraham had. This great nation that Yahweh made of Abraham, there's a small, minute people that's going to be at the sands of the sea still that are greater. It's called Yahshua. It's you. It's not nobody else. It's not nobody that hasn't had oppression. It isn't anybody else that hasn't that. Come on, bro. Do I have to go down the list? A lot of these people ain't been on welfare. A lot of these people ain't been harassed by the police. A lot of these people ain't been whacked by the police. A lot of these people aren't living in situations set up by the government and COINTELPRO to make us exile our own self away from our people and to go to other nations of people for we can be under them, but yet feel above our nation. Lack of growth. You know what I mean? Genesis 17 and 15. All right. He say to Abraham, as for Sarai, your wife, you shall not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. So he chose the forefather, the foremother, and renamed him. That means you're no longer, when people change their names and stuff, it's because they no longer want to be a part of the life that they had behind. You know what I mean? They wasn't walking around, you know what I mean? They wasn't coming back or whatever to where they was from. Like, yeah, you know my people again. You know what I mean? Let me show you what I learned. I'm gonna show y'all how to praise Yahweh. They was over there already praising idols and stuff. You know what I mean? Set apart. This is a part of Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 7. All right, let's go to 8.
Verse 8. You found his heart faithful before you and made with him the covenant to give to his offspring the land of the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Perizzites, the Jebusite, and the Girgashites. And you have kept your promise, for you are righteous.
He is righteous. He finds his heart faithful in making the covenant. He's given us, look, this is Nehemiah. Once again, this is stating the historical facts of the set apart people and the people of the covenant. Are they wrong for setting the boundaries, for naming these other nations? to let people know they aren't our people, that can't be wrong. Now let's look at Genesis again, chapter 15. We're going to do 6 and 8. Well, just do 6, 7, and 8. Verse 6. Hey, and he believed Yahweh. And he believed Yahweh. Once again, and he believed Yahweh. And he counted it to him as righteousness. There isn't a such thing as, don't you understand, in order to put Yahweh doing righteousness and then something happening, you know what I mean? And you saying, no, that ain't Yahweh. That's a whole different God. You're counting his actions as unrighteous, as if you can judge him according to his doings. That's what the other nations do. You are to put your trust in Yahweh and count everything that he do as righteousness. Even the things that you don't like, hey, it's righteous. In order for you to get that way, you got to drop your pride. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. I'm telling you, the best way to drop your pride is to get away from the other nations. You know what I mean? Verse 7 say, and he said to him, I am Yahweh who brought you out from Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land to possess. But he said, Oh, Adawan Yahweh, how am I to know that I shall possess it? Whoa, okay. So just Abraham counting the Most High action as righteous itself got him the boundaries, because it said he believed Yahweh. He just want to know, well, how am I going to possess it? If I believe that you're going to do it, I believe Yahweh, you're going to gather us up. But how are you going to do it? And it shows us in the scriptures how he's going to gather us up. He's going to do it by us first, them seeing, the other nations seeing what we're doing. They'll say, this is a wise nation. And then they'll want to follow us. We'll be teaching them. They won't be teaching us. We won't be learning while they teach us. That we won't be learning while they learning. At this point, do you believe that he's going to gather us together? Do you believe that Ephraim is not going to vex Judah anymore? Or are you in this mindset, we ain't never going to get right? I don't got time to be trying to gather with y'all. We ain't going to get it right till Yahweh come. While you sitting there wondering, when is he going to come? We got to look at this book of Nehemiah. This chapter 9 especially, this is where we're coming from. We got to look at this and see that they're going directly to the sources. You know what I mean? They're going directly to the sources. So that means whoever, Nehemiah, right? He was writing this. He had the Torah in his heart to put this stuff together. Y'all don't get it? All right. You can go to verse 9. You know what I mean? Now this gonna be recounting history, the history behind Yahweh, delivering us from Egypt. You know what I mean? 9 through 11. I think it's like 9 through 11. No, not read 9 through 11, but I'm talking about this 9 through 11. It's this picture of Yahshua in Egypt. Yeah.
Verse 9. And you saw the affliction of our fathers in Egypt and heard their cry at the Red Sea.
No, wait. All right. Okay, yeah, that was it anyway. And you saw the affliction of our fathers. This is Nehemiah talking in Egypt. Now, he ain't talking to Egypt, but I'm saying, I'm reading the rest of it. This is Nehemiah talking. And you saw the affliction of our father in Egypt. And you heard their cry at the Red Sea. Their cry. Why don't it say, and you saw the affliction of our fathers and the fathers of the strangers? And you heard all of their cry. It's because it's on us. You get that? It's on us to deliver. I mean, to not deliver, to come up and say, we only have time to worry about us. We're not saying y'all can't serve him. We're not saying that y'all can't be amongst us, but we have something that we need to we need to talk to the Most High about something. We got something that we need to fix with him alone before we can even think about forgiving y'all. We have to have that heart of crying out to the Most High. We got to have that so embedded in us to where it wipes out all of that other stuff that has been done to us. Because you're not going to tell me, I just don't see a whole congregation of people. I don't care if y'all separate or not. I just don't see people, you know what I mean, being able to not be distracted with other people around that have not had their butt handed to them throughout generations like we have. I don't see anything, productive happening out of that. It takes us again. This Nehemiah 9 is literally showing us, all angles of it was us first. I mean, we've gone through 10 verses so far. 9 verses. Every verse has pointed out Yahshua and their congregation, the congregation of Yahshua. Mm-hmm. So, it says, you saw the affliction. And he heard their cry at the Sea of Reeds. Their cry. You know what I mean? It's on us. Let's go to Exodus 3. And read verse 7 real fast. All right. It's saying, then Yahweh said, I have the affliction of my people who are in Egypt and have heard their cry because of their taskmasters. I know their sufferings. Let me read this again. Then Yahweh said, I have surely seen the affliction of who? My people who are in Egypt. My people. Wait a minute. Now they say, verse 8, And I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land to a good broad land, a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and the Jebusites. He didn't add none of them with them. None of them was Yahweh wasn't looking at them saying, man, I see the affliction of them people too. They not in that list. Most High saying my people. So that means when he said my people, this shows you that it was your people that was doing the crying out, because it was your people under the affliction. Or you mean to tell me the strangers that came with us, they wasn't afflicted?
No.
All I know is, if it weren't for the Israelites, they wouldn't have got delivered. So, and furthermore, those same strangers, if they did not help the Israelites get stuff, then they were already gonna get dealt with anyway. If they didn't show the Yahshua favor, they was gonna get dealt with anyway. You know what I mean? So there's no need for us to even try to, act like the Most High just love everybody. He does not. He don't accept everybody. He's not going to accept all of the Israelites. But those Israelites that he do accept, when that time comes, they're going to be the ones that was holding security at the door, making sure did no foolishness come inside the nation. And that starts by holding the book of your ancestors at heart. Do y'all get what I'm saying? This is a time of separation. This is a time where every nation needs to be going amongst their own self. Can we take a look at Exodus 14:10, please? Take what you want from this, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? When Pharaoh said, Exodus 14:10, when Pharaoh drew near, the people of Yasharal lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them. And they feared greatly. And the people of Yasharal, they did what?
Right out to the house.
They did this. They cried out, bro. They did. Now, granted, verse 11, say they start going off. Is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you took us away? Look, wait a minute. Y'all mad. You over here mad, right? Because the Most High done telling you, get away from them. Gather your own self together. You the nation that's not desired. Just because they people don't like them, that's only because they probably just don't hold a certain ideology. But I don't mean for them to come over here, crawl over here, and get a space in your living room, and they just take it over. No. You know what I mean? But it was the Israelites that was crying out. It was the Israelites that didn't want to, what they say, is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you taking us away to die in the wilderness? Like they didn't just see the miracles of the Most High. Yeah. Like they didn't just witness it.
Yeah, and it's crazy that they said that, like they wasn't being oppressed by that very nation that they wanted to cling to.
The same nation, bro. Go ahead and expound on that.
Yeah, so this is showing from the very beginning. It's always been people, once again, who wanted to cling to other nations, even the ones that are oppressing them. And in our case, of course, in today's time, all these people have played a hand in our oppression. you know. So it's just crazy that, of course, even now, as we can see amongst our nation now, that there are people who will fight you tooth and nail about these other nations needing to be around us, needing to be in the mix, even though we're still trying to reestablish ourselves. And it doesn't make any sense.
Come on. I mean, ask yourself, where does it lead us when we allow the people that aren't of our nation to, you know, be in our affairs? It always turns out bad.
Well, always.
And it's because we don't want them to cleave to us. We want to cleave to them low key. When you supposed to be if you are the head honcho of your business, if you allow somebody else come up in here telling you the rule book, how the rule book go, before you know it, they're gonna take over your business.
Right.
They sitting there trying to tell you the rules that you set down in your own time and set apart for your company. They telling you, no, this wrong, that wrong. Matter of fact, let me hold the meeting and let me tell them the rules.
Right, but it's your business though.
But it's yours. You know what I mean? All right. Let's go to verse 10, please.
Verse 10, and perform signs and wonders against Pharaoh and all his servants and all the people of his land. For you knew that they acted arrogantly against our fathers, and you made a name for yourself as it is to this day.
We're gonna get back to that later. Matter of fact, we're gonna handle it right now. Who are you to tell the Most High what his statutes are when he wrote them to the people? Yahweh performed signs and wonders against the people that were oppressing you, and you still went after him. I mean, yeah, you still went, and they still went against the Most High, even though they knew Pharaoh acted like Yahweh wasn't standing on nothing, but they seen it, right? Not only that, look at this. He performed signs and wonders against Pharaoh and all his servants and all the people of his land, for you knew that they acted arrogantly against our fathers. Your ancestors knew this. They knew that from the time they was in slavery, they was in captivity in Egypt, that them same oppressed people treated them like crap. Oh, you just idle and work. You need more to do. Matter of fact, ain't nobody from now on, you're not getting it pre-made. Go make it yourself. Do the same time and get it done at the same time that you would. You want to go back to that. That is unacceptable. And that's not, Yahweh's not going to accept you. He's not accepting your cry out. He's not accepting your amounts of mass of studying. He's not doing none of that, because they all lead back to your oppressor. You're doing this to your own self and your nation. When you decide, yeah, I know we in captivity, so I'm just gonna do whatever. be around whoever I want to be around. Hey, I'm in captivity. I got to deal with them. You're supposed to try your best to keep them away from me. You know how you do that? You embed yourself in the Torah in a place that you know they have no business trying to teach you anything. They can you don't you're not allowing them. When you keep your stuff sacred, you don't allow people to revise and misconstrue what you got going on. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. That's what the guys used to say. Although a lot of people never took that to heart, I did. And just so happened, I happened to have been the one that they would call, oh, you a renegade. Yeah. Oh, you insane. You're a renegade. You break the law. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you prepare yourself properly, it prevents you from performing poorly. You don't need anybody else around. If Yahweh says for you to gather this, for the assembly to be gathered of the nation of Yasharal, that don't mean anybody else. It don't matter if you call them your counterpart or not. Okay, let's go to Exodus 7. I know this ain't up to y'all speed, you know what I'm saying, but it is what it is. All right. I'm a shorten this up, okay? Because honestly, Exodus 7 all the way to chapter 14 is talking about the plagues being executed over the pride of Egypt. 7 through 14. So when you read those things, this is what Nehemiah chapter 9 verse 10 was talking about, the whole 7 through 14. The encounterment with Pharaoh, the Exodus itself, the things that happened. And when you see these things that happen, it was pointed towards one single nation of people. They wasn't even worried about the other strangers that whoever would have been servants and slaves in Egypt. They wasn't worried about them. They was worried about the Israelites. You know what I mean? Even she scrolled down to 14. It say what? Yahweh said to Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refuses to let the people go. Why is it that we love being in this captivity, man? Y'all love being in this captivity so much that you would say that this is the place that got taken from you. When this is the place of they call this place the place of no return. They call the Bank of West Africa, where they shipped off our ancestors, they call that the door of no return. You get me? Yet still, we see these people, these coon people all up on the internet, you know what I mean, chucking and jiving for these people, these heathens, going against their own people, going against the community, acting as if it ain't all been set up on a Psalms 83 level. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna read. That will be a lot. Just reading chapter 7 all the way to 14. So what I'm gonna do is we can literally just go random and read one verse from each. What's in it? We already read 7 to 14, where Yahweh said to Moses that his own oppressor, the oppressor of the Israelites, was hard, right? And then Exodus, Yahweh said to Moses, "Go into Pharaoh and say to him, thus says Yahweh, let my people go, that they may serve me." He's talking about our people, not anybody else that want to come along. That's cool. It's still order, but you are supposed to we got to do this. But I guess we just gonna keep fighting to stay under the oppressor's rule with a messed up mentality of thinking that, you see, they said they dropped the idol. They say we the people. So what that mean? That don't mean that they're gonna be holding sacrifices. That don't mean that they crying out to the Most High in times of our dispersion and diaspora. If my people, which are called by my name, you get what I'm saying? Then they go on and say, there, and there. There, heal their land. Hear them, hear from heaven. You know what I mean? Exodus 9 and 2 say, for if you refuse to let them go and still hold on, behold, the hand of Yahweh will fall with a very severe plague upon your livestock with that are in the field, the horses, the donkey, the camel, the herd, and the flock. See, a lot of these people got that spirit up in Joshua when Joshua let them people into the camp. You know what I mean? And they didn't want to actually tell them, like, yeah, we're not your people. That would mean that they're above. That would mean automatically they will be stating we're below you. So they just trick them. It's the same thing, right? These people want, but look, this is the thing. These heathens, they think, if they just play the role and trick you, you know what I mean? That as long as you tricked, they're gonna be good. They'll be good. There won't be no severe plague. They'll live luxuriously while you still around here wondering, I wonder why he ain't came yet. Well, I'm looking at the scriptures and they say this. Don't you understand that sometimes we see events happening that look like it's so direct in the scriptures, but there's one thing that be missing all the time. The whole time it's always one thing missing. The nation gathering themselves together. So who knows? You could be just constantly missing the mark, missing the time, missing where things stack up against them. Because no, we got to be in them. We got to be around them. They got to be around us. They got to do what we doing. They have to scream out to him just like we do, even though they don't have they never had oppression.
They don't have that feeling, that soul behind it.
Exactly.
They don't have it.
So yeah, go to chapter 10. You know what? We can stop just to cut down time. But listen, Nehemiah verse 10 and 10. 9 and Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 10. You know what I mean? Showing all the signs and stuff like that. You can go to chapter 17, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 to back up all of that, just that one verse in verse 10. Let's go to Psalms 105, then we're going to keep it moving. Just showing the same thing of, these plagues being executed because of Egypt's pride.
Okay.
All right. I'm pretty sure. Okay, we back on. All right, cool. Yeah, verse 27. It says, they performed his signs among. Let's go to 26 first. He sent Moses, his servant, and Aaron, whom he had chosen. He chose specific people for specific things. That's it. 27 say they performed his signs among them and miracles in the land of Ham. Where is that at? Egypt. This is Nehemiah 9 and 10. Once again, showing you that they're going back to the law. They're going back to seeing his wonders. They're going back to thinking about all the rebellion that didn't happen. We ain't even got there yet. You know what I mean? But this is what this book is about. This book is about the nation congregating together, understanding these things, these 38 verses that we going through. They all are bound and wrapped inside of the other book. You know what I'm saying? So, what is that? Verse 27. All right, you can go to verse 11.
Verse 11. And you divided the sea before them, so that they went through the midst of the sea on dry land, and you cast their pursuers into the depths as a stone into mighty waters.
Now, I just want to know, where is that a lie? That's not a lie. There shouldn't be no reason why any stranger should even be able to fix their lips to tell you that this book is an idolatrous Second Temple book or anything else. Because let's go to Exodus 14. And we're going to do 21 through 22. Okay, it says, then Mashah stretched out his hand over the sea, and Yahweh drove the sea back by a strong east wind all night and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the people of who? Yasharal went into the midst of the sea on dry ground, the waters being a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. This, we know it was sojourners with them, but the whole book seems to be surrounded by the Israelites. Why is there a big deal about letting strangers into the congregation when this book is literally the soul of the Israelites? It's the history of the Israelites. It's the deliverance of the Israelites, the salvation of the Israelites, the separation and the set apartness of the other nations are the Israelites. Nobody else. Let me go to Exodus 15 and 5. It says, now I gotta read 1 through 5 now. I just seen Yahweh's man of war. Then Mashah and the people of Yasharal, there we go again, sang this song to Yahweh. I mean, come on, bro. There we go again. Where does it say Yasharal and the stranger? Then Mashah and the people of Yasharal sang this song to Yahweh, saying, I will sing to Yahweh, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider he has thrown into the sea. He did this for the Israelites. Verse 2, Yahweh is my strength and my song, and he has become my salvation. This is my Elohim, and I will praise him, my father's Elohim, and I will exalt him. Once again, my father's Elohim. I didn't say Allah. Don't even start. Elohim. And I will exalt him. The crazy part about it was I was just focused on 15 and 5. But I mean, verse 1 and 2 nip it in the bud itself anyway. Let's keep it going. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. No, he gonna set it all. He gonna separate all that when it's time. And no, nobody know the true name. No, I don't want to hear that. Ancient date. That's the language.
There's only one name. It's only one type of pronunciation. That's it.
That's it. That's it. When he created the earth, he didn't say Yahuwah. No, he said Yahawah. Yahawah. All right. Anyway, verse 4. Pharaoh's chariots and his hosts he cast into the sea, and his chosen officers were sunk in the Red Sea. The floods covered them. They went down into the depths like a stone. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's that's wild. They say they sank into the bottom like a stone. But if you can see what happens to the people who oppress Yasharal, why would you want to bring them in your midst? Once you bring them in your midst, guess what? You in danger. You in danger. You might just get dropped and the floods cover you and go down in the depths like a stone. You just might do it. It just might be you. I don't know about y'all, bro, but if I know that somebody getting in trouble, I'm trying to stay away from them. You know what I mean? I'm staying a whole away from them. I don't got nothing to say to you. I understand you might change your ways and all that, but I gotta get some clarification from that first. I gotta get some verification. In the meantime, you said you doing this. Go ahead and do your thing. I see you shine, all of that. But I'm cool, bro. I don't want to be around you. You getting in too much trouble. You got something coming for you sooner or later. If you got a warrant, why is you gonna hang around somebody else? If you got a state warrant and you trying to stay away from going to state prison, is you gonna go hang around somebody in America's Most Wanted list?
No.
You going down. Don't think just because, oh no, his stuff higher, you know what I mean? He gonna get him before he get me. I have a chance. No, they get both of y'all at the same time. Y'all gonna get separated. He gonna go to his people. That means the people that the crimes that he committed, and you gonna go to a prison where the crimes that you committed. And you ain't gonna never see him again. You know what I mean? So we should not want to be around these people like that, bro. Who are at least trying to take up for these people. All right, let's cook. Let's go to verse 12. You getting tired?
Verse 12, by a pillar of cloud you led them in the day, and by a pillar of fire in the night, to light for them the way in which they should go.
Once again, I mean, look, basically, you know, this verse 13, verse 12 is showing you the significant power of God. It's showing you that once we gather together, you know what I mean, and we cry out, miracles, things that people would never imagine are going to happen. Could you imagine a pillar of cloud leading you in the day, and then at night fire so you can see, so you can be protected? Can you imagine that? Now imagine on a scale of whatever he's going to do, that ain't never been seen before. I want to be on the good side of that. And if this book is pointing towards a certain people being around each other and crying out to him and getting their stuff together, I'd rather do that and be shunned by all of you Israelites and find just a couple, even if it's just my own household, that's going to keep this pure, try as much as they can to keep anybody from coming into their sanctuary, their household, their life, their mind and soul, and diluting anything. If you have concentrate and you mix it with water, it decreases its value. So don't tell me, no, never mind. I don't even want to go there. Exodus 13. You know what I mean? Now we go now this more getting into like guidance. You know what I mean? All right. Exodus 13, start at 21 to 22. It says, and Yahweh went before them by day in the pillar of cloud to lead them along the way, and by night in the pillar of fire to give them light, that they might travel by day and by night. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night did not depart from before the people. Us. Protection. That's protection. So Nehemiah, the 9th chapter, 12th verse, it's shadowing the Exodus. It's giving the history of the Israelites. This is history. These are things that were passed down from whenever Exodus was all the way to where Nehemiah is right now. He's putting these things together in a form showing that it's Yasharal. It's about the nation. All right. Not about nothing else. It's about the nation, bro. Numbers 14 and 14. You know what I'm saying? And also, this also showing like Yahweh is like actually he gives us visible, visible. You know what I mean? Guidance, visible manifestation of guidances. 13 to 14. When we focus on 14, it says, but Moses said to Yahweh, then the Egyptians will hear of it, for you brought up this people in your mind. We already know what this is about, and they will tell the inhabitants of this land, they have heard that you, O Yahweh, are in the midst of this people, for you, O Yahweh, are seen face to face, and your cloud stands over them, and you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and in a pillar of fire by night. Once again, now this is the thing. For people to say that it don't matter if a person don't say the words, they see Yahweh face to face. For them to say that the Most High is giving them, you know, some wisdom and all of this, and you know, all this stuff, and not be our people is absurd, bro. That's absurd, because right here it even states that it says they would tell the inhabitants of this land, they have heard that you, O Yahweh, are in the midst of this people. You, it's Yahweh that's in the midst of this people. He speaks to us. When you, the face-to-face that we trying to get to Yahweh right now is like an eye-to-eye understanding of what he said. This is the order that I stand behind it. That's it. This is the face-to-face. So don't get caught up in all this other stuff these people trying to pull. All right. You are the Israelite that have the ability to look in these scriptures and say, you know what? I'm not just reading this for verse to verse, or I'm just, I'm gonna read this and I can see the situations happening because I studied the Torah. I can see these things happening. When you read these verses, you should be able to say, wait a minute. Now that I'm looking at this, ain't Exodus, ain't Numbers 14 and 14. That's in, or ain't Nehemiah 9 and 13. Ain't that in Exodus? Didn't I see that in Numbers or somewhere? He's recounting the things that Yahshua has went through. You know what I mean? They done got so far in Nehemiah, they done got chased. They done been rebellious. They done been treated bad. They done cried out to the Most High. It's all type of stuff. You know what I mean? So yes, I haven't. Let me see. I'm gonna read the comments when I'm like almost done and stuff like that. So y'all can feel free to comment. I ain't ignoring your comments. I'm trying to see if Sister X is up here. She ain't up in here. But I was gonna say, thank you, Sister X, for even saying that, this was a topic that we needed to get on, because it is. And it definitely recounts, you know what I mean? It goes through all types. It goes through the destruction of temple, the rebuilding of the temple, the crying out, the rebelliousness, the staying away from nations, the people wanting to stay around the nations. It goes through all of this. You know what I mean? So basically, Nehemiah low-key like a history book in itself. You know what I mean? What was we at? 12? Yeah, I was saying 13 earlier. Let's go to 13 now.
Verse 13, you came down on Mount Sinai and spoke with them from heaven and gave them right rules and true laws, good statutes and commandments.
You came down from Mount Sinai. And then he did what? He gave them. It don't say he just gave them rules and laws and statutes. It say he gave them right rules and laws and true laws and good statutes and commandments. Good, true, right. That means what he told you to do is when you doing what he told you to do, when you're applying yourself into the way he got things set up, then you moving in the footsteps of Abraham. Because remember, Abraham believed Yahweh. You get me? And he counted Yahweh's rule as righteousness. We read that, right? In Genesis. So for anybody trying to discredit this book of Nehemiah, you know what I mean, and saying stuff like it's wrong or you can't do this, or who are you to? The scriptures are right here showing the urgency of set apart, the urgency of the Kodash. All right. Gilad is seed, right? I think. If not, I know it's children or a kid or something like that. Yeah, but the righteous ones, his righteous children as well. Kodash, set apart. When you're set apart, you are, what was that? I am stuck on Brandon Bishop. Don't stick on me. You stuck on Yahweh's word, so these heathens and these Gentiles' doctrine, the way of their life and their lies don't stick to you. You know what I mean? Exodus 19, please. You know what I mean? And we're gonna nip it in the bud, because this is when Yahweh is giving them the commandments. We know this, right? So Nehemiah 13 is a reflection of Exodus 19. Here we go. It say, now Mount Sinai was wrapped in smoke because Yahweh had descended on it in fire. The smoke of it went up like the smoke of a Kalian, and the whole mountain trembled greatly. And as the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and Yahweh answered him in thunder. Now wait. Are there any strangers blowing trumpets? No. So this louder and louder sound that we would have been hearing, it came from all Israelites. No matter how much the stranger wanted to cleave, wanted to be around, no matter how much they seen the sojourners and all of that, no matter how much they seen that, they wasn't picking up no trumpet, right? All right. Moses spoke, and Yahweh answered him in thunder. And Yahweh came down on Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain, and Yahweh called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. This is, I mean, it's just a recounting. Verse 13 is just a recounting, you know what I mean? And I want to say this, just because let me tell you something, don't get caught up in wordplay and all this. Y'all might be bored, and might be like, man, he just basically said the same thing, and he's just sending it up. I know. The people in Nehemiah, In Nehemiah, him establishing this, he was coming straight from the law. It didn't come from his own opinion. You think he wanted to go out there and tell people, man, look, you can't have this, your kids gotta go. But thus says Yahweh, bro. Exodus 20:1 says, and Yahweh spoke all these words. What words did he spoke? What words did he speak? All of these that we've been mentioned, that's going down. This is so when you read Nehemiah chapter 9 verse 13, he's accounting in his head the right judgments and true laws that was given. This is the righteous, the true laws, the right. Go back to Nehemiah. These are the right rules, the true laws, and the good statutes and commandments. Exodus 20. I am Yahawah, YAHAWAH'S, who brought you out of the land of Marsariam, out of the house of slavery. What was that? What's that? Whatever. I think it's like Bayat Abad or Ibad or something like that. 3, you shall have no other gods before me. This is Nehemiah accounting this stuff. The true laws, right? The righteous judgments. You shall not make yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything. Highlight that anything. Of how many? Anything that is in heaven above or that is in earth beneath. Listen to what it says. You do not make for yourself a carved image of any likeness, anything that is in heaven above or earth, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. All your signs, all you people, emblems and signs and all this stuff that y'all got, you're going against the Most High. And guess what? You know why? Because this is what the other nations do. They carve out crosses, they carve idols, and you know what I mean? They look at the stars and the moon and all of this stuff. They carve these things. They make images out of the creation Yahweh already created. You got these people with this imagination. They done made an image of Leviathan. Like, bruh, first of all, that's stupid. And you have no idea how Leviathan looked. Second, if you was able to see that thing, you'll die automatically. So for you to for these people to try to even look or try to act like they can carve or print this image of Leviathan, it show you the depth of idolatry that this place is embedded in. You don't make yourself carved images. Point blank, period. Don't take it up with me. Let me keep it going. Because really, I could have just stopped at 1 and told y'all go read it, but y'all wouldn't anyway, probably. Anyway, verse 5. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for our Yahweh, your Elohim, and with jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquities of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me. I don't hate him. Okay, well, you can't have people not of the nation around at a time like this. We're handling family, but who are you? You can't tell me that. No, it can't. No, that's not true, because he said that he gonna give somebody else our law. He gonna let everybody else worship us. I ain't never seen nobody worship Yahweh. Not one nation on this earth is praising Yahweh. Not one person on this earth is able to say they serve Yahweh and say they the chosen people at the same time. It's not happening. So yeah, you know what I mean? But anyway, verse 6, showing steadfast love of thousands of them. Hold on, wait, because so basically, y'all hate Yahweh. He's surrounding all his focus on the nation, showing you focus on the nation, you focus on Yahweh, and as you focus on Yahweh, you're able to focus on the nation, and you doing the opposite. But you mean to tell me that I'm supposed to believe you say that you love your people and you with nation building, but you constantly got strangers around. And this is not, let's make something straight. This is not towards one person. And actually, to be honest with you, this was only brought up because a sister asked, could we do Nehemiah? Said it was very dire that, this is a time that we should do it. So this is what it is. It just so happened we also had a time where people, they love dealing with the oppressor. You know what I mean? But if you ain't doing what he said, how he said, and you going against it, and it pissed you the F off that bad, you hate Yahweh. You don't like that he's focused on us, and you feel like we need to focus on everybody else in order for us to get to him. 6, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. Verse 7, you shall not take the name of Yahweh, Elohim, in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. For those that's calling on the name of Yahweh, and everything you do is vain. You say Yahweh, but all you talk about is New Testament. You say Yahweh, but all you do is down the people of Yahshua and tell them how dumb and stupid they are. That's all you do. You love Yahweh. Yahweh told you to give his word out, you know what I mean, freely, without buying. And you telling the nation, we ain't gonna never get nowhere in life if we don't get $1 million. But you love Yahweh. You love Yahweh, but you're taking away the sole purpose of us leaving here. Don't you understand the history of the Israelites is hatred amongst each other? And a lot of y'all think that, only the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom split. Y'all don't understand that the northern kingdom split twice. When the people went out to Egypt, not everybody was in Egypt. and them people wasn't worshiping Yahweh. And I'm gonna bring this out in a couple days, but they was worshiping. Never mind. I'm gonna save that. They would serve. They would. All the thing I'm gonna say is that their text that they wrote themselves, talking about Johanan, that's in the that was in Jerusalem at the time. They wrote saying YHW. And we gonna get into that. You know what I mean? So we can get the name straight too, while we getting all these other lies and stuff people coming around with. You know what I mean? But of course, all this always stems from being around strangers, keeping these people around us and putting them above us. Basically. You know what I mean? All right. Verse 8. Remember the Shabbat day and keep it holy. They didn't do that. They didn't do it. Why didn't they do it? Why, Hanaya, can you explain to them why didn't our ancestors keep the Shabbat holy?
Why did they keep the Shabbat holy?
Why ain't do it? I want to know what was they busy doing?
Amongst the other nations, serving other gods.
Oh, okay. So basically,
Idolatry.
So basically, they didn't keep the Shabbat holy because they wanted to be free like the other nations and do whatever they wanted.
Right.
Ain't this like in Ezra or something, or Nehemiah, where they like, I can't wait for the Sabbath to end, so they can go and make their money. Some people just go ahead and buying and selling and all that, regardless. And now, thousands of years later, here y'all come. No, he said in all your dwellings to keep the Sabbath. He told you that back then, and y'all didn't do it. So what make you think now you're going to do it? And it's not your dwelling place.
No, dwellings in the land.
Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? So y'all tripping. What's that verse? 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. Y'all don't even understand that we look. Never mind. First of all, I just want to say this. You set apart. This say 6 days. These heathens gave you 5 days of work and 2 days off.
Sometimes you might get 3 days. What's the 3 days on, 4 days off, 4 days on, 3 days off schedule? So they make up your schedule, your work schedule.
So
unless you own your own business where you'll work 6 days, but most people still will do,
5 and 2.
5 and 2. They're either gonna work every day or do a 5 and 2. So it depends.
And you know why y'all do that? Because that's what your oppressor do. That's what they set up. Because your ancestors decided they weren't gonna listen to Nehemiah. They weren't gonna listen to Jeremiah. They weren't gonna listen to Ezra. They weren't gonna listen to Isaiah. They weren't gonna listen to Jeremiah. They weren't gonna listen to none of your family ain't gonna listen to you. But now we here, and y'all, you over righteous people are here. Oh, you keep it. How? There's no you can't even keep it. Like, come on, bro. I don't know. y'all out here y'all out here tripping about something that was taken away from us. And let's get something clear. In the book of Lamentations, it tell us that we're going to mourn for the day of the Shabbat, not argue over it.
Right.
So y'all way off. But you doing this is because you are stuck with these nations and you want to be like the Jewish people and have a Sabbath because they get to have one. But it ain't their Sabbath. Yahweh not smiling down on that. So none of you scoffers can turn back around and say, see, I told y'all was jealous because they got the Torah. They hold it just like, no, they don't hold it just like us. They don't even have an understanding just like us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Let me keep going so I can, but we still got a little ways. But the seventh day is the Shabbat of Yahweh. So Shabbat to Yahweh, YAHAWAH'S. Once again, the seventh day is a Sabbath to Yahweh. It's his Sabbath, not yours, bro. You worried about the Sabbath, and he barely drawing close to us. It's like y'all understand the nation of Yasharal is a force field, and our cries are like a magnetic force to Yahweh. When y'all get to bickering and arguing over if a heathen can be in a congregation and you don't want to direct things right in the order that he says it's supposed to be in, then you going all off, bro. And then we're not able to have all these other things. We're just not able to have. Verse 11 say, for 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the Shabbat day and made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land that Yahweh YAHAWAH'S is giving you. Once again, you people are listening to your oppressors and some strangers. So you listen to some dude telling you gotta hate your mama and your daddy. You so stuck on your oppressors that you feel like in order for you to fit this narrative that you making it in life, you gotta have these people around you. You disrespect your mother, your father, claim you hold the Torah. Now, it's a difference between not accepting their philosophies and ideologies and morals that go against the Most High. It's a difference between that and you just downright disrespectful. And you know what? For you kids, for the children, let me tell you something, okay? Listen and watch your counterpart. I mean, the people that aren't your people. Watch them very closely. The kids, watch how they treat their fathers and their mothers. Totally disrespectful. They act out, do whatever they want to do, sneak around, sneaky, all of that. That's because that's how they are. That's their tradition. They can do that. But you cannot do it. You can't do it. And that's why it's important for the parents to, if you got your kids in school, you still got to protect them because they are around children that are either colonized by their mind is colonized by the oppressor or whatever system that they got built, or they're the oppressor themselves that have been taught how to, disrespect and be sneaky and stuff. Be careful And watch your children. Be attentive to them too. You never know what kind of devices that and whatever we got that can you know, what's that word I'm looking for? My mind going blank. Entice them. There we go. Entice them. Verse 13, you should not murder. Verse 14, you shall not commit adultery. Verse 15, you should not steal. These are things that are set apart. They're true. They're righteous. He's telling you these things because other nations do these things. They do it, and it's embedded in them to do it. Psalms told us that they come out the womb speaking lies. Verse 16, they bear false witness, bro. You should not bear false witness against your neighbor. They do that all the time. They do it. You can see it in the politics. They lie. Yeah, you know what I mean? Saying stuff about somebody, lying on them. It ain't true. Well, he did this just so they can get a vote that don't even count. Stop that, bro. It's the same. Y'all do the same thing. Y'all do the same thing in the Torah only community. You should have one side trying to tell one side telling the truth, the other side lying. The one that's lying, all the wicked people, they in the whole multitude together. You know what I mean? Exodus 20:18. You now when all the people saw the thunder. Oh, hold on. Verse 17. You should not covet your neighbor's house, because that's what the enemy likes to do, right? You should not covet your neighbor's wife, because that's what your oppressor like to do. They did that to your ancestors when they went snatched her up and took her. You know what I mean? Now you got a white, now you got a half breed in your family. You know what I mean? Because of what? They covet people's wives, or his male servant, or his female servant, or his ox, or his donkey, or anything that is your neighbor's. Anything. Don't you know that even mean when these people coming around and they not Yahshua and they sitting there lying to you or won't tell you that they Yahshua, they still want to be around you. They're coveting. They're coveting what is yours. And you're calling them, this is my neighbor. While they sitting there coveting your heritage. The words that the Most High gave you, they want. 18. Now when all the people saw the thunder and the flashes of lightning and the sound of the trumpet and the mountain smoking, the people were afraid and trembled, and they stood far off. All right. I ain't gonna go through the whole Exodus 20. You know what I mean? Because where am I at? Anyway, I forgot. Verse. Oh, we just went to Exodus 20 because where am I at? Okay, oh yeah. Verse 14. 14. Okay, go ahead and read 14 for me.
Okay. 14. And you made known to them your holy Sabbath and commanded them commandments and statutes and a law by Moses, your servant.
Boom. You know what I mean? Let's just run through Exodus 16, 23. And then we're gonna get chapter 31. And it's literally just backing up, what verse 14 is saying, giving out the Shabbat as a sign, between Yahweh and the nation, all of that. Exodus 16 says, and 23, my bad.
Oh, 24, sorry.
It says, and he said to them, this is what Yahweh has commanded. Tomorrow is a day of solemn rest, a holy Shabbat. to Yahweh, bake what you will, bake it, boil what you boil, and all that is left over, lay aside to be kept till the morning. Just simple instructions. Simple instructions. But we can't even get this down pat because we worry about what the heathen, how the heathen, the people that acting like they y'all, they us, how they set it up. So we arguing back for no. On the 6th day, that means the fifth night, we supposed to go in and get and do preparation. No, brother, it's the 6th day, but at nighttime. We worry about everybody else position. We worry about everybody else traditions. We worry about everybody else being a part of us when we don't even know. First of all, once again, Sabbath thing, and not right now. But even so, if so, we don't even know. Well, because you mix and you're worried about what the oppressor doing, and you looking at the scriptures and it's telling you how to order it, and you still argue because you haven't got that your oppressor out of your system, out of your mind. They still got you captivated. Go ahead to Exodus 31. All right. Exodus 31 and 13. It says, you are people of Yasharal, and say what? Above all, you shall keep my Shabbat, for this is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I, Yahweh, sanctify you. You are the ones that are sanctified, right? You are the set apart people. I don't know why. I mean, it's like at this point, we on what? Verse 14, and we still got like 15, 16, 17, something like that, more scripture go. And I feel like at this point, I'm just being a recorder. These scriptures keep going back to the nation. They keep going back to you and your people being as one, and it's surrounding the attention around us. It's giving you policies. You know what I mean? So no possible way this book is fraudulent when it's recounting history, giving us advice, showing us how to cry, showing the order of crying out itself, going right back to all of the Torah. You know, I mean, he sanctified you. That's it. You are to speak to the people of Yasharal. You know what I mean? And then one more thing. The Shabbat is a sign between you and Yahweh. If that's a sign between you, us, and Yahweh, then if we can't keep the Sabbath, how far do y'all think we are from him? Now our sign should be mourning for it. Sad we can't keep it in its full potential. Instead of arguing, what they do it this way, he do it that way. They just no. You know what I mean? That 31:13. All right. Let's go to the next verse in Nehemiah. 15.
Verse 15. You gave them bread. From heaven.
All right, very quick.
For their hunger, and brought water for them out of the rock for their thirst. And you told them to go in to possess the land that you have sworn to give them.
Okay, Exodus again, 16 and 4, and then we're gonna go to Exodus 17 and 6. 16 and 4.
16 and 4.
This is basically the backbone. You know what I mean? It says, then Yahweh said to Mashah. I mean, he keeps saying to Mashah, he keeps saying the Israelites, keep saying the Levites, and every time he go and speak to Moses, he telling him to talk to who? The Israelites. That's it. Then Yahweh said to Moses, behold, I am about to rain bread from heaven for you. So anybody, so you, if you ever heard somebody that say Yahweh don't physically put bread on your table, they're a liar and they hate Yahweh. They lying on Yahweh. Behold, I am about to rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a day's portion, kakwa, every day, that I may test them whether they will walk in my law or not. Right? He said, I'm gonna test them. What that go the whole Yahweh don't know everything. That go way out the window. Hint, hint. First of all praises. Don't talk about it, man, whatever. Okay. So when we look at verse 15 in Nehemiah, what is this? Another encounter. They're reiterating what the Israelites went through in this time frame that he's speaking of. Oh, listen, Yahweh made some food come from heaven just to see if we gonna walk in his law or not. You know how arrogant that gotta be. You gotta be for you to be starving and then food just fall from the sky and you still disobeyed the one that gave you the food from the sky. That's arrogant, bro. I don't know if that's a firecracker. They be shooting iron sometimes. I don't know. All right. Anyway, let's go to chapter 17. Yahweh been testing us this whole time to see if we gonna walk in the way that he told us to, and yes, we fell it. That's it. Just straight fell it. Verse 6.
It's fireworks.
Verse 6. Verse 6. Exodus 17, verse 6. Hold on. Not that. Fireworks. Oh, shit. Y'all hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, fireworks. All right.
It's about to be, you
I'm
know,
they do whatever y'all want. Just don't shoot my car. That's it. Anyway, Exodus 17 and 6. Behold, I stand before you there on the rock of Horeb, and you shall strike the rock, and water shall come out of it, and the people will drink. And Moses did so in the sight of in the sight of who? The elders of Yasharal. What's going on? Why is it saying? Well, I mean, to me, it seemed like when this book was written, it was specifically focused, and it purposely worded the people that they was talking about. Maybe I'm reaching, but you know, whatever. Now I'm gonna go to Psalms 105. just to show y'all, it's it's the same encounterment. And like I said, well, I didn't say this, but some people might feel like this above the, this below they studying, and that's cool and all. Everybody, they got they learn how they learn. But all I'm saying is, this book of Nehemiah, that it's about us. We have to do, we gonna be coming serving us, trying to tell we are wise. And we got Israelites, we got heathens calling themselves preaching the Torah. They dissing the heck out of Israelites. They stupid, they fools, they don't know what their ancestor did this and they did this and they ain't coming out of this. Y'all ain't hearing them. They are still idolaters. Well, that's because, we allow people to, speak Yahweh's word, I guess. And we allow them to be around us when this is not the time. But the only reason why they doing that because y'all not doing what y'all supposed to do. You claim that it's coming, everything's coming, everything finna hit the fan, but you can't even get respect from heathens the right way. You know what I mean? All right, Psalms 104, I'm gonna do verse 40 through 41. They asked and he brought quail. This is when he went, dropped the bread from the ground, dropped the manna, right? And gave them bread from heaven in abundance. He opened the rock and water gushed out. It flowed through the desert like a river. So I guess, so this book of Psalms is also quoting from Exodus. What is idolatrous about that? But a heathen can come and say that because we're not moving in the force that we're supposed to, in the books that we're supposed to, so things can start changing. I understand that there's a set time for everything. That's why everything's gonna speed up when things get to happening. But I just don't see. It's like even when you think you start to see a little bit of hope, then it all gets shut down. You know what I mean? But whatever. Verse 41, he opened the rock and water gushed out. It flowed through the desert like a river, for he remembered his holy promise to Abraham, his servant. Now that's wild business. So the nation is his servant. Abraham was his servant. Moses was his servant. The wild was his servant. Right? So I don't know. Well, I had somebody tell me, or try to say that the nation is not the servant, and that it was David. And I'm already thinking to myself though, like, well, Abraham was a servant. He's called a servant. Nation was called a servant. You know what I mean? But once again, heathens, they get to come and do whatever they want. They can come on. You can come and preach to us. We'll accept it. Nehemiah 9 and 16. It says, but they and our fathers acted presumptuously and stiffened their neck and did not obey your commandments. Now we already know that this has always been a thing. You know what I mean? This has always been a thing for us. Stiff neck, totally stiff neck. And when we go to Deuteronomy 32, we're gonna see it. And when we go to Exodus 32, we're gonna see it. And when we go to what is that, Deuteronomy 9 and 6, we're gonna see it. Right? It says start at 5. No, I'm start at 4. Do not say in your heart after Yahweh Allahayaka has thrust them out before you, it is because of my righteousness that Yahweh has brought me in to possess this land. For y'all, don't say it's because I turned to Yahweh only or Yah only. That's the reason why I got salvation. No, it's not. It's when the whole nation, when we all turn away from idolatry, then you know what I'm saying? When we all turn from idolatry, that's when we all gonna that's when he gonna no, it's none of that, bro. Don't say in your heart it's because of you. It say verse 4 say, wait a minute, what? Hey, man, I ain't got time for that. We do not got, man. Hey, Tracy, we talk about the Torah. All right. We don't do no YAHAWAH'S, no Black Jesus, we don't do that over here. Okay. I don't know where y'all came from. Hey, Benny, somebody take that. That's messing up my vibe. Take that idol worshiper out of this chat. Don't put no Jesus in here. What's wrong with y'all? Call Yahweh's portion. Don't do no dang Bahashem, nothing. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh. That's it. All right. Where am I? Deuteronomy 9 and 6. Verse 3. Now therefore today that he who goes over before you as a consuming fire is Yahweh Allahayaka. He would destroy them and subdue them before you. So you shall drive them out and make them perish quickly as Yahweh has promised you. Do not say in your heart after Yahweh your Elohim has thrust them before you, it is because my righteousness that Yahweh has brought me in to possess this land, whereas it is because of the wickedness of these nations that Yahweh is driving them out before you. It's not because you anything. It's because all these other nations, none of them come close to being even worthy. The wickedness of the other nations are not acceptable. So why do you think we got to have them around in order for the Most High to accept us? When the whole point of Joshua going into the land of Canaan and taking it was because when Abraham was in the land of Canaan, he told them, no, go ahead and leave, because the iniquities of the Ammonites aren't finished yet. But when Joshua came and he wiped them out, they wiped them people out and took the land, guess what? It wasn't because they were so righteous and all that, and they was keeping the law, statutes, commandments with all their heart, mind, and soul. It ain't because of that, because apparently they wasn't doing that. They was getting wiped out for 40 years flat. Every day somebody died. Probably, I would estimate about 40 people a day. It wasn't because they righteousness that Yahweh helped them. It was because of the wickedness of these other nations. And it's not because of your righteousness. You're supposed to be so righteous, the reason why these heathens can't come around. It's because of the wickedness that's in them. It's better off, even if they saying they only serve the Most High, you better off doing it over there, because you can't even come close to worshiping him in that aspect. You don't have the genetic gene pool. Your gene pool does not come from that no place to go but Yahweh. All right, Deuteronomy 9, and then we go doing 6, and then I think Exodus. All right, not because, verse 5, not because of your righteousness or the upright of your heart are you going in to possess the land, but because of the wickedness of these nations, Yahweh YAHAWAH'S is driving them out from before you, and that he may confirm the word that Yahweh swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and Yaakov. Verse 6, now therefore, know therefore that Yahweh YAHWAH is not giving you this good land to possess because of your righteousness, for you are a stubborn people. You're stiff-necked. That's why these people feel like they need to come around here and conduct the law of Yahweh and tell y'all what to do and come and sing in front of y'all, because y'all not doing right, because they feel like y'all hard-headed anyway. Y'all never get it right. Y'all do understand that people look at us, and I understand why they look at us, and just some people just look at us like we just don't have it. We'll never get it right type stuff. But now I understand why, because we're stubborn, stiff-necked people. We don't listen to the warnings. We only want to hear what we want to hear. Let's go to Exodus 32 and 9. We're on verse 16. Okay, what time is it? Keep going. I think Exodus 32. All right. Verse 4. It says, and he received this is talking about when the gold calf and all of that, and he received the gold calf. He received the gold from their hand and fashioned it with a graving tool and made a golden calf. And they said, these are the gods, O Yahshua, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. Bruh. Hold on, wait a minute. Am I tripping? Oh, my bad. That's what's the name? I'm at verse 9. My bad. I apologize. Exodus 32:9. And Yahweh said to Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Even your own God knows how stiff-necked you are. He knows it's gonna take. I don't know what it's gonna take for you people to unharden your heart of stone and make it into a heart of flesh, so Yahweh can start upping the chances of our escape. And it's not going to happen by you being hard-headed and trying to put Yahweh's words in a way to where it's uplifting the heathen. And he don't uplift them. He specifically speaks to you in the Torah. You know what I mean? All right, verse 17.
They refused to obey and were not mindful of the wonders that you performed among them, but they stiffened their neck, and appointed a leader to return to their slavery in Egypt. But you are at Elohim, ready to forgive, gracious and merciful, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love, and did not forsake them.
Mm. All right. Now let's take a look at what this say. It say, you are an Elohim, ready to forgive, gracious and merciful. Understand something. This verse right here is explicitly letting you know that he is ready to have mercy on you, on us. We refuse a lot, but he's willing to do it. But you got to separate yourself from this foolishness that is in this system. You know what I mean? You cannot have forgiveness. He can't hear from heaven, heal your land. He can't do any of that. If you, the top of verse 16, being stiff-necked and rebellious. You know what I mean? Let me look at Numbers 14. And 14. All right, Numbers 14 and 14. Oh. All right, cool. It says, verse 13, but Moshe said to Yahweh, when the Egyptians will hear of it, for you brought up this people in your might from among them, and they will tell the inhabitants of this land, they have heard that you, O Yahweh, are in the midst of this people. For you, O Yahweh, are seen face to face. Your cloud stands over them, and you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and by pillar of fire by night. Hey, same thing, bro. Oh, wait a minute. I read that. Yeah. Of course I read that. Yeah, I read that. Yeah. Because what was that? Oh, dang, I'm tripping. My fault, y'all. I'm getting caught up in my notes now. We getting somewhere. All right, 19. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, I am at Numbers 14, verse 17, right? Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. All right, it says, and they will tell the inhabitants of this land, they have heard that you, O Yahweh, are in the midst of this people, for you, O Yahweh, are seen face to face. I literally just read that. Yeah, listen. Babe, what verses we on?
We on verse 17 of Nehemiah 9.
All right. Oh, okay. That's where I'm tripping at. Exodus 34. My bad. That's why I was talking about that. Exodus chapter 34. Here's when our notes start getting sloppy. All right, cool. Exodus 34, 6 through 7. My apologies, y'all. I just got sidetracked. Yahweh passed before him and proclaimed, Yahweh, Yahweh, Elohim, merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness. There we go. Now we back on track. I just kind of, my notes started going crazy on. Yeah. So, hey, long story short, this is basically backup of 17. He is ready to pardon you. He's ready to show us grace. He's ready to do all of that. But your whole goal that we thinking about and we're speaking about right now is on this topic of Nehemiah 9. You know what I mean? And that's solely congregation of the Israelites as one before we go out trying to do some other stuff with other people. Point blank. Now look, this is what I'm gonna do, because we going on 3 hours and we still got over half. So I'm gonna do 2 more verses, and that'll be actually half. Because it's what, 38 verses? And yeah, so at 19, that'll be half. I'll do that. And then tomorrow I'll come and double down with Nehemiah 9, verse 20 to 38. We'll do it like that. Yeah. And then we just get up out of here, and we'll come back tomorrow, we'll finish it off. I hope somebody gets some out of this, even though it's kind of preschool and all, but when you're able to put these scriptures together, you know what I mean? Going back to the Torah, you can see more clearly of the significance of what's being said. You know what I mean? Even from the downfall to the uprising, it's all been about us. All right. All right, verse 18 in Nehemiah chapter 9. It says, and it's gonna be it says, even when they had made for themselves a golden calf and said, "This is your God who brought you out of Egypt," and had committed great blasphemies. Now, look, they did this. You know what I mean? Now we can go to Exodus 32, and we can see. We can just go to Exodus 32 and see in verse 19 and 18 that this is an accurate thing that they did. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It says, verse 4, and he received the gold from their hand and fashioned it, graven a tool, and made a golden calf. They went against the commandments. They went against Exodus 20 after he just told them this. Right? And apparently, these are the same thing that was happening in Nehemiah. Or the accounts, you know what I mean? Anyway, and they said, "These are our gods, Israel, O Yahshua, who brought you out of the land of Egypt." And that's not true. You know what I mean? To this day, y'all still doing it. You mispronounce the Most High name and say, "Here, O Yahshua, this is the name of the God that brought you out of Egypt." When they have dates, when they have stuff that show you this language that y'all claim is fake, that brings in the name of Yahawah, is one of the oldest, if not the oldest language. I don't know how much more ancient you got to get. You know, oh no, but you got to think about the Samaritan. You talk about the Hamites. slash Shemites. After a while, that you talk about we not anyway. But yeah, it's always been the same thing. This is a warning. This is warning right here from Nehemiah, showing you what our ancestors loved doing. They loved worshiping of gods. They did it. They were stiff-necked about it. To this very day, you could almost go to any book in the scriptures, and guess what? You're gonna find some rebelliousness. No doubt about it. No doubt. Let me skip a lot of this. I had a couple. Let me go to verse 19. I'm gonna cut y'all off. You know what I mean? All right. Oh dang! Did I? It's cool. It's cool. Nehemiah chapter 9. All right. All right. Verse 19. What the heck just happened? Oh. Verse 19. In your great mercies, you in your great mercies did not forsake them in the wilderness. The pillar of cloud, you led them in the way did not depart from them by day, nor a pillar of fire by night to light for them the way by which they should go. I mean, and then it basically it got to go back. It's going back again and recounting the same thing. His greatness, you know, the things that he did, you know, numbers, and I'm out of here, bro. I'm out of here. The match, I guess I would say the match, verse 19 is Numbers 11 and 17. All right, my bad. Numbers 11 and 17. I had something in the back, my bad, y'all. All right. It says, to start at 16, that Yahweh said to Moses, gather for me 70 men of the elders of Yasharah, whom you know to be elders of people and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of meeting and let them take their stand there with you. And I will come down and talk with you there, and I will take some of the spirit that is on you and put it on them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, so that you may not bear it yourself alone. Now, let's think of that, right? Yahweh told him that he was going to take some of that spirit that was on him and put it on other people, put it on the other elders. You know what I mean? That wisdom. Now, we're supposed to be the set apart people. Once again, like I was saying, these people cannot learn how to serve the Most High, how to cry out to him, how to do any of that without us doing it first. And without us, without us, they can't do it without us knowing how to do it, learning how to do it, and doing it. And then when they learn how to do it, that's when the spirit is put on them to do it the correct way, when it's right. You get what I mean? I'm not making this up. This is not no type of doctrine or way I'm trying to spin around or nothing. This is all scripture. It's going right back to everything that Nehemiah is talking about. Let's go to Psalms 143, and then that's it. Psalm 143, verse 10. Fled to you for refuge. Ain't that's what we supposed to be asking Yahweh to do, right? Deliver us from our enemy. And we cannot do that if we what sense does that make? What sense does it make for you to cry out to the Most High to deliver you? And while you crying out, you walking towards the danger. You know what I mean? That's just as silly as somebody telling you you're gonna be able to get bit by a viper or snake and all of this stuff, and you know, y'all know what I'm saying. That's just as crazy. It said, deliver me from my enemies, not gather me with my enemies. Verse 10 say, teach me to do your will, and you are my Elohim. Let your good spirit lead me on level ground. That go right back to what it say? Let your good spirit lead me on level ground. That's the same thing as that. This numbers right here. And I will come down as on you and put it on them. And that is when, well, we're halfway there. That's when we get somewhere. When that spirit bounces off you, hops on me, the nation, all the nation, and we all on one accord, and we fixing the problems within our nation. We are dealing with the people of our own nation that are of different genders. You get what I'm saying? We're not trying to intermingle with these people anymore because we know, all right, enough is enough. We have to handle business. You get me? But yeah. So we stopped at verse 19 in Nehemiah chapter 9. I think we basically got like 19 more verses left. I'll come back through tomorrow. This just give me a chance to warm back up over here, I guess. Reading a couple of these comments real fast. We got mother, wife, daughter, wife, mother in the building. Shalom, shalom, Aqua. Shalom. Benny, what's good with it, buddy? What's good? Appreciate it. Sister said, no one besides him. That is big facts. That is big facts. I don't know what Tracy was talking about. He was tweaking. Sister said, damn shame swearing they know better. Then they turn around and go against Yahweh every day. You see that happening every day. Dang, you got a big car up in here. I should have. Yeah, all right. Now tomorrow, if y'all come through, I'm gonna periodically stop and read some of the comments. To be honest with you, yeah, it's barely people ever commenting on my videos. So I just cut out the whole thing of, looking at comments, you know what I mean? There's barely other people in there. So my bad. I apologize, y'all. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, once again, I'm gonna come back through tomorrow, man. You know what I mean? Hey, Sister X. Hey, you just now popping in here? We about to close it up now. You know what I mean? But this is part 1. We went through Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 1 through 19. went verse to verse, put some scriptures together with those. It's been 3 hours, so I figure I'll probably be 6 hours, 6 or 7 hours, you know what I mean, if I went on with the rest of it. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna get up out of here. But I can watch the comments on the replay. So if I without going back, I just go and see what comments were said. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure, you know, it was some edifying things up here. You know, Sister Naya put Ecclesiastes 7:17. Be not overly wicked, neither be a fool. Why should you die before your time? That's a powerful scripture. And I think basically that scripture is telling us, don't be religious. You know what I mean? Don't be overly righteous. Don't be overly wicked. You know what I mean? This is not about a religion. It's about a set apart seed and nation. You know what I mean? And you are right. Ricard, you are 100% correct, bro. Nehemiah was definitely heartbreaking, bro. You know what I mean? It takes a toll on me sometimes when I read and I see the stuff that they go through. And then I see the situation we in and the stuff some of us go through. It's like we got more constraints on us now than they did back then. So, you know, we can't even do half the stuff that we want to do. You know what I mean? Alpha Show says, understand why we'll catch the replay. Shalom to everyone in the chat. And as always, thank you and your family for what you do. Praise Yahawah. Praise Yahawah. Praise Yahawah. All right, man. I'm about to get up out of here. You know what I mean? Well, I got out of here like 12 yesterday. But I started at 9. I mean, I could go. I'm not gonna force it. You know what I mean? I really did kind of want to just get this out so I can just move on, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna force it. I'm not gonna overly do it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna overly do it. But since I hope, you know what I mean, as I hope so far what we got, I made a little sense. You know what I mean? Hanaya jumped in a little bit. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Anybody else got anything to say that before? I would ask if anybody wanted to hit the link, but I don't want to scare people away. I'm not gonna put the link out there. I don't want to scare people, make people think, wait, I gotta come up. It's not anything like that. But yeah. So let's see. See what I'm gonna play to get up out of here. I don't know. Oh, okay, I got it. I know what I play.
No, it ain't some of the time, but it's every day I gotta get on my knees. You know what I mean when a nigga inside start tweaking, you know what he bring. I could make a scene, you huffing and puffing, ain't nothing cause that ain't a win. I'ma give you a green by shaking my head, my only question in there.